Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, we'll take you to the debate underway in Augusta, where officials are considering a new way for Mainers to elect our president. Plus, Maine is the latest state to accept a new political party that plans to have candidates on the ballot. And this has also been a rough start to the snowmobiling season, including here in the Bangor region, where the trails are simply unusable this year. We'll give you an update on that as well. Good morning, everyone. I am Craig Colson. Emma Smith has the day off. I just wanted to start things off by telling you that there's been a serious accident on a road in Glenburn at this hour. Rescue crews are still on the scene. It happened within the last hour. Apparently, it happened on the Pushaw Road, and we're told that that roadway will remain closed for several hours while police investigate the scene and document the scene. We hope to have more information on that crash in Glenburn a little later on. In the meantime, people traveling to work or school through that area may want to avoid the Pushaw Road because you simply can't get through there. You may want to, if you're coming from Bradford or Hudson, that area, you may want to swing over to Route 221 and take that into down to 15 if you can, and that will save you some time. Also coming up in a little bit, we'll tell you about a bad fire that broke out at a motel in Belfast overnight. A very serious fire there. In the meantime, the big story of the day, though, is going to be the stormy weather moving in. We're going to start off kind of quiet today, but later on today, a storm's going to move into the area that's going to be bringing rain and snow to the area, and more importantly, some very strong wind gusts. We're told the wind gusts could top 70 miles per hour in some cases, which could lead to some widespread outages. For more on the storm, let's turn things over to Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. As we get into things this morning, we have a lot of advisories to break down, though, and we have winter storm warnings posted till 8 a.m. Wednesday morning for the counties highlighted here in the pink. Winter storm watch is still in the blue here. Some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some wind alerts too. Wind advisories and high wind warnings are also posted through Wednesday afternoon because of some of those gusty winds that will be observed. We also have winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some hurricane force wind warnings and storm warnings along the coast. We have a lot going on here because of the active weather that will be expected to move in. For now, you wouldn't think so. The radar and satellites looking pretty quiet out there, at least in our backyard, but the clouds will be moving in throughout the daytime period today. As we do zoom things out and give you the bigger picture, look at all this right here. This is all tracking from the southwest and going to the north and east, and this will start to affect us coming up later on tonight and the parts of tomorrow. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be common today. Again, it's later on tonight, especially by around midnight or so, where the snow will move in, and strong gusty winds up to 50 to even 60 miles per hour possible late tonight and the parts of tomorrow as well. So for the rest of today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy or increasing clouds, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. As we move ahead towards tonight, though, middle 20s, so likely it will be windy as well. The higher totals will be farther off towards the north, and the southeast wind gusting up to around 45 miles per hour at times. As we head towards tomorrow, upper 40s, the wind shear mix will switch over to rain, very windy. Southeast wind gusting up to around 60 miles per hour at times, so power outages may be possible as a result of the wind. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures making into the upper 20s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig?
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, this next storm is raising flooding concerns, especially along the coast, and it comes less than a month after a significant flooding inland storm that occurred during that last windstorm. Also caused a lot of road debris, a lot of trees to come down, and widespread power outages. Let's hope that doesn't happen again, but as Owen Kingsley reports, it could be a little bit different this time around.
Multiple inches of rain Wednesday after a heavy snowfall is a bad combination.
A coastal flood watch is posted for all of Maine's coastline.
If temperatures stay in the low 40s Wednesday, the snow might act as a sponge and absorb much of the rainfall. If the temps rise above 50 degrees, then melting and washed away snow will likely make the threat of flooding much worse.
This ground is frozen, but it's frozen except for that tiny little part that almost touches the house, because the basement's warm.
And it's almost a vulnerable point when you say the water pools up.
Absolutely, you got it. Water pools up and it finds that sweet spot.
Mike Moore with TC Hafford and Wells says that can lead to flooding in a basement of a home or business. He says you can try several things to keep water away, clear your gutters, or add extensions to the bottom. He also says if snow is up against your house's foundation, that may not leave any room for water to drain away.
Snow blow all the way around their house to keep, again, to provide an opportunity for water to shed away from the house.
The state's emergency management agency met with local authorities Monday afternoon to prepare for the next storm, saying flooding is possible. It won't be, though, as severe as what we saw last month.
You can't get complacent. Every storm needs to be taken seriously. We're going to start with enhanced monitoring on Tuesday morning, and then as the storm unfolds, we will elaborate our team and grow as the resources are needed from our county EMAs.
What MEMA is also worried about are those strong winds expected to reach at least 50 miles per hour for parts of Maine's coast Tuesday night into Wednesday, and outages are likely.
That was Owen Kingsley reporting. Now, Central Maine Power is among the utilities that will have crews standing by just in case those power lines do start popping and coming down. We will keep you up to date. Well, meanwhile, a terrible fire broke out last night at a motel in Belfast. Photos posted on social media this morning show flames shooting from the roof of the Admiral's Ocean Inn on Searsport Avenue. There aren't a lot of details at this hour, but local residents say everyone made it out safely. All the people who were living there were transported elsewhere, and fire crews remained on the scene well into the night to make sure that fire was out. Belfast Fire Department tells us the State Fire Marshal's office has also been called to the scene this morning to look for a cause. We have a crew also heading that way, and we'll have more information about that bad fire in Belfast a little later on today. Former President Donald Trump is asking a Maine judge to hold off on making a decision on the Maine primary ballot case until after the U.S. Supreme Court rules on the Colorado case. In a filing on Monday, lawyers for the former president put forth key arguments for a motion to stay the judge from ruling. They argue that the Maine court would not have jurisdiction to rule on a federal issue like the 14th Amendment, and that the pending U.S. Supreme Court decision could completely reverse Secretary of State Shenna Bellows' ruling. The filing reads in part, quote, "Even in light of the Secretary's clear animosity and bias towards President Trump, the court should nonetheless stay its hand because the Secretary's ruling may be effectively overturned," end quote. Secretary Bellows has until tomorrow to respond to Trump's motion. Under Maine law, the judge is required to issue a ruling on the case prior to January 17th, which is 1 week from Wednesday. Well, there's a bipartisan push to try and change the way Maine and other states allocate their electoral college votes. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bichard has the details on what that could mean for future presidential elections.
Because it wouldn't matter whether they got a vote from California or from Maine or from Michigan or from Florida. When every vote counts, it creates a very different way of campaigning nationwide.
It really, truly is a bipartisan movement. It doesn't favor one party or the other.
Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution grants the power to each state legislature to determine how their presidential electors are selected and divided. Maine is already somewhat unique when it comes to this.
Maine has chosen to use a congressional district plan along with Nebraska, while 49 of the other states plus the District of Columbia use the winner-take-all rule.
During Monday's public hearing, one of the main opposing arguments is that entering into this compact will abolish the Electoral College.
Today there is a push throughout the country to replace the Electoral College with this unconstitutional and confusing program.
What we're trying to do today is not to abolish the Electoral College, but to use the mechanics of the Electoral College to allow every American's vote to count.
Proponents of this compact say this will force presidential candidates to pay attention to every voter in every state, instead of just hotspots for electoral votes.
And for all practical purposes, we're electing the president of the battleground states of America versus the president of the United States of America.
Opponents argue this would actually disenfranchise voters by taking away votes from candidates that they would have otherwise went to, such as in 2016 and 2020 with Maine's 2nd Congressional District, which cast their electoral votes for the former President Donald Trump.
And in particular, it disenfranchises every right of center voter in the 2nd Congressional District.
With regards to disenfranchisement, let's remember what we're creating is a system where every voter in every state is politically relevant every time.
The measure will now have a work session before it is voted on in committee and possibly makes it to the full legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bichard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Meanwhile, a new political party known as No Labels is making its way onto ballots across the country, and Maine is now the 13th state to approve that party. Our Grace Blanchard breaks down what this could mean for Mainers at the voting booth.
Maine's presidential ballots are expanding as voters now have a third-party option for 2024. Secretary of State Shenna Bellows recently approved the No Labels Party.
That's because they achieved the minimum threshold of 5,000 Maine voters who agreed to enroll in the No Labels Party.
No Labels has been operating in Congress for several years, but recently the party has been making efforts to appear on ballots across the country.
I think we all have to acknowledge that we've never been in a position like this where so many Americans are frustrated with these presumptive choices that we have.
The political party's national director, Joe Cunningham, says they will be offering up a bipartisan ticket following Super Tuesday.
Half of Americans now identify as independents. It kind of carves out that lane for a bipartisan ticket on the ballot.
Political experts say there is a distinction between a third party like No Label and an independent candidate.
If they do put forward a candidate, it will be as a third party, and that candidate will be a third party candidate, not an independent candidate. If they ultimately choose not to put forward a candidate, then they have ballot access, but there won't be anybody on the ballot.
According to Secretary Bellows, anybody enrolled as a No Label Party member will not be able to vote in the primary elections in March.
Semi-open primary means that unenrolled voters or voters who are no party at all will have a choice. And anyone who is registered in another party that does not have a primary will not be able to participate.
For now, the political party is focusing on attaining ballot access in all 50 states.
The fact is the partisanship has gotten so tough and so impactful. Somebody has to do something about it.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Maine National Guard may soon see its first female commander. Yesterday, the Veterans and Legal Affairs Committee voted to officially nominate Brigadier General Diane Dunn to replace Major General Doug Farnham as the Maine National Guard's Adjutant General. The role will also make General Dunn the Commissioner of the Maine Department of Defense, Veterans, and Emergency Management. General Dunn spoke at her hearing about how she's looking forward to serving in that new role.
I'm honored to be nominated by Governor Mills. I am deeply committed to serving our state and nation, the members of the department, their families, and our veterans. This commitment is my reason for pursuing the goal to become Maine's next Adjutant General and Commissioner of the Department of Defense, Veterans, and Emergency Management.
The committee voted 8-3 to send General Dunn's nomination for a full vote before the legislature. One of the lawmakers that voted no to the nomination questioned General Dunn on the global war on terror, as well as her thoughts on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
I mean, her answers on the Defend the Guard legislation and her role administering and her oath to the Constitution were number one for me, though I did feel like, you know, she mentioned that promotions in the military were blind, they didn't take in race or gender, but DEI, which she instituted at the college, is the opposite of that. And real life's probably some kind of middle ground of that, but having these binary choices and forcing folks to hire maybe not the best person isn't great, and probably not great for our military. So I think it definitely played into my rationale as well.
General Dunn's nomination will now go before a vote in both chambers before she can be confirmed. Currently, there is no date set for that vote. While Glenn Mosier's position as Ellsworth's police chief remains in question, the Ellsworth City Council made a decision last night regarding his role as the city manager.
Item 18, discussion and possible action as a result of the executive session to extend the contract for city manager.
Comes after the council deliberated for more than an hour behind closed doors. Almost all the committee members voted in favor of extending Mosier's contract. Stephen O'Halloran was the only committee member who opposed the decision. It's unclear how long the city council will be extending his contract for, or whether Mosier will accept the extension. Mosier was recently placed on indefinite leave as police chief from Ellsworth back on December 27th, pending the outcome of an internal investigation. It's unclear where that investigation stands right now. Officials have not released any details. A Winslow firefighter was arrested last week following a theft investigation. 34-year-old Sean Stetson of Fairfield was charged with stealing in excess of $12,000 from the Winslow Firefighters Association. According to the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office, the department was contacted by the association back in December after an internal investigation revealed that several $1,000s was missing from multiple accounts. Stetson was a member of the Winslow Firefighters Association and allegedly started making cash withdrawals back in February of 2023. His bail is now set at $500 cash, and he has been ordered not to have any contact with any Winslow employees and not to return to town property except to pick up his own personal property that's located there. A Mainer accused of taking part in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol will receive his sentence today. David Ball of Sanford joined the mob as it stormed the Capitol building back in 2021. In October, he pleaded guilty to parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. His attorneys say he's extremely remorseful and was only in the building for less than 20 minutes, although prosecutors say Ball remains defiant and says he posted on social media that, quote, "I will be sentenced on January 9th for raising my hand and saying USA on that day in the Capitol building." Prosecutors are asking that Ball serve 21 days of confinement, 36 hours of probation, along with community service and $500 in restitution. All right, the time now is 8:16. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, the recent storms and a lack of snow has created terrible conditions out on Maine's snowmobile trails rather. We'll hear what riders are saying about the season here in the Bangor area. But first, another check of that forecast. A quiet start to the day, mostly cloudy with highs around 28. The storm moves in tonight, bringing snow and some other bad conditions to the state. The lows will drop down to around 24. Tomorrow, we can expect a wintry mix and rain. The highs tomorrow a lot warmer at 48 degrees.
A family-owned and operated business since 1953, Hammond Lumber Company recognizes the value of their team members and the importance of employee satisfaction. Hammond is honored to have been named one of the best places to work in Maine for 3 years running. This year, Hammond was selected as one of the best companies to work for by Business New Hampshire magazine. Hammond is always looking for great people to join their team. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
My father worked at the mill for over 30 years. He was exposed to a great community and excelled at his job, but he was also exposed to asbestos. The air quality inside the mill was always his biggest complaint. He had no idea how deadly some of the products and materials were. When he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew to call Joe Bornstein's office to get my dad the help he needs and the justice he deserves.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Hyundai Palisade. The Palisade comes standard with complimentary maintenance and America's best warranty. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Caitlin Clark, big time maneuver. She needs no introduction. Hello. She's indescribable. Can you believe this? There are no words. But let me just say this, reigning player of the year, reigning Wood Award winner, first team All-American, she can flat out ball. America, get ready for some Caitlin Clark in your life. Saturday on Fox Prime Time Hoops.
Welcome back, everyone. Snowmobile clubs in the Bangor area have been working hard to restore the trails after the impact of last month's storm. Along with a lack of snow, there's some big problems out there on the trails, and the 1-2 punch from recent storms has made those trails really unusable. Our Doug Banks has more.
Riding trails in some parts of the state this winter hasn't gotten off to a great start.
Stayed about the same for amount of trails we have, but the snow's been late getting to us every year. Seems like a little later every year.
According to Al Sweat, president of Maine Snowmobile Association, he hasn't seen conditions like this since the ice storm of '98.
The weather has destroyed a lot of our trails, completely wiped out bridges that the clubs have been rebuilding, and it's just been horrible.
The trails maintained by the Paul Bunyan Snowmobile Club in Bangor cover over 20 miles. On Saturday, members spent the day clearing out fallen trees.
If we get a big windstorm and it takes us 2-3 weeks to clean that up, that may be a quarter of the season gone.
Sweat says Maine's winter outdoor economy is about a month behind its usual pace, not only impacting the riders on the trails, but also the businesses along them.
He's supporting businesses. They count on snowmobiling to take them through the winter to the spring. Then ATV folks take them through the summertime.
By the end of the week, Sweat says he'll be speaking with Governor Mills to see if there's available federal money to put towards clearing up and improving the trails.
These clubs, they hold chicken barbecues in the summertime and auctions to make it through the winter. And when you get a disaster like this, their money goes pretty fast.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Orono Health Association started back in 1969 as a dental program for kids in the area. But over the years, it has grown to include more programs. And now they hope to start up a food pantry for area families in need. The food pantry will be located in the same building as the thrift store in Orono, which carries clothing, shoes, and even appliances. The Health Association is also involved with heating assistance and scholarships for Orono High School students going into health careers. Organization leaders say the need is real and they just want to expand their services to help more people.
It's a relatively small food cupboard. It's going to be just dry goods for now, non-perishables. We don't have the capacity at the moment to do things like meat and dairy. Perhaps in the future if we can gain a bigger space. But we're just looking to take a little bit of pressure off of families with things that we can do.
Sonnenberg says they have acquired some grant money to launch the food cupboard, and they will also use proceeds from the thrift store as well. But they're also looking for more donations to help them get going. They don't expect to be up and running for a couple of months. And we also have donation and contact information for the Health Association on our website at foxbangor.com in case anybody out there wants to pitch into that great effort. All right, the time now is 8:22. Coming up after the break, an organization that helps people fight addiction is getting an important financial boost, and it's all thanks to a group of caring people here in the Bangor area. Plus, Israel says it plans to use new tactics as it works to root out Hamas fighters. We'll have all the latest as Good Morning Maine continues.
Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Looking for big fitness energy this year? Join Planet Fitness. Now through January 12th, save $5 a month during the Big Fitness Energy Sale. When you join for 24 cents down and just $10 a month. Cancel anytime. That's a savings of $60 per year. Never intimidating. Always free fitness training. Equipment for every workout. Don't miss out. Join the judgment-free zone today and get energized for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 12th.
People ask me all the time, are those commercials really true? Does Lowry & Associates really get all of those clients, all of those big settlements? Yes, we do. We really have gotten millions of dollars for Mainers hurt by commercial vehicles. And the insurance companies know when you call the twos, we're going to fight for you. And you know what else is true? I really am standing on top of this big truck.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
What if I told you these people are related to these famous faces?
Don't play games with your mama.
Our new Fox show is a guessing game that's all relative.
Ooh.
That's the performer to their superstar relative.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
I know the voice. And you could win life-changing money.
Sign me up, Anthony.
What happened to I don't play games?
I never said that.
We Are Family, all new Wednesdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. A Bangor nonprofit just got a big boost thanks to a philanthropic group known as 100 Neighbors Who Care Penobscot Valley. 4 times a year, each member commits to giving $100 to a deserving charity, pulling their hard-earned dollars together to help a nonprofit here in the local area. Our Jody Hersey has more.
Times are tough, but 100 Neighbors Who Care Penobscot Valley has been helping to lighten the load by donating a minimum of $10,000 4 times a year to nonprofits in Penobscot County. Stop Addiction New England is a discipleship and recovery program in Bangor that's helping the homeless and those battling addiction. This nonprofit is the latest recipient to be blessed by the members of 100 Neighbors Who Care.
We have a wonderful opportunity to, as I've mentioned many times before, put a little good out there. But this is the apex of that. This is a chance when we go face to face with the charities that we're supporting and turn over the donations from our over 200 member group.
Kevin McGuire is the founder of Stop Addiction New England. He says the funds from 100 Neighbors Who Care could not have come at a better time.
We need repairs on a ceiling that has had some plumbing leakage, and also for a new vehicle. We have 3 vehicles that have almost 1 million miles.
McGuire says both men and women who come through his doors are provided with food, shelter, and the opportunity to tap into their faith and a better way of life.
It's a 9 to 12 month intense accountable discipleship. Like I said, they become a student of the Holy Bible, and we teach them how to live life skills, work ethics. And we have a little leniency and grace, of course, because behaviors have to change that stem from the addiction.
In March, 100 Neighbors Who Care Penobscot Valley will meet again to hear from 3 more deserving nonprofits that could use a boost. In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Very nice. Well, the time now is 8:26. Time to get another full look at that weather forecast. Here's Devin.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Groceries, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. Already, we have a lot going on here. So we have winter storm warnings up until 8 a.m. Wednesday. Winter storm watches still for the northwestern parts of the state till 10 a.m. Wednesday as well. At some point, that will be changed to warnings for some other advisory. We also have some wind alerts that are posted as well, high wind warnings and wind advisories as well. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour possible. That will cause some issues with the trees and power lines as well. On top of that, though, some more winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted, hurricane force wind warnings also posted along the coast, as well as storm warnings. So we have a lot to watch out for with the system that will be on the way. Wave heights aren't too bad just yet at around 4 to 5 feet, but this map's really going to get active coming up soon with the system that will be moving in pretty quickly. But otherwise, though, the radar and satellite, you wouldn't think there's anything going on right now, right? Because everything's looking pretty quiet in our backyard. But as we zoom things out, here's this fanfare right here, though, the system that's really getting its act together with snow across parts of the Midwest, some showers and thunderstorms further down to the south. We'll have our turn for a wintry mess that will be moving in pretty quickly as high pressure tracks off towards the north and east. So futurecast moving forward, everything gets going later on tonight, especially by around midnight, some snow likely. And of course, the stacked isobars here indicating some strong gusty winds up to 45 to even 60 miles per hour at times. Will transition to rain throughout the morning period on Wednesday, continuing in parts of the afternoon with warmer temperatures on the way. But the system clears out of here pretty quickly. As we head towards later on, we'll start to see this getting out of here pretty fast. So fortunately, this is not a long-lasting system, no, as they'll be out of here pretty quickly by Thursday, but still some fanfare to watch out for. Here's the snow accumulations, though. Again, here we go. So we're going to be watching for around 8 to 12 inches of snow farther off towards the north, maybe a few locally higher amounts, and maybe 2 to 5 inches of snow farther down to the south. So this time, the higher totals will be farther off towards the north. As for the water, though, this counts in the snow as well. 1 to 2 inches of water possible before we're all finished up. This is rain and melted down snow, so a lot of water on the way here across the region. And gusty winds, not so much of an issue today, though the winds will be rather quiet. But look what's happening tomorrow. Gusty winds increasing over time, getting close to around 60 miles per hour at times in some cases. Again, power outages and some downed trees will be possible as a result of this. As our average temperature is 28 degrees, we'll do upper 20s today. The upper 40s Wednesday, back in the low 40s Thursday. We're back in the lower 30s Friday. Upper 40s again Saturday with another storm system moving in. The upper 20s again Sunday and also into Monday. So for today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Later on tonight, middle 20s, snow likely, higher totals further off towards the north. Southeast wind at about 45 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, wintry mix to rain, strong winds as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 60 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's looking at extended forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Groceries. A partly cloudy sky Thursday, highs in the lower 40s, lower 30s Friday with a lot of sunshine. Another wintry mist moving in on Saturday with highs in the upper 40s.
Great Scott! This is Green Bear 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
COPD hasn't been pretty. It's tough to breathe and tough to keep wondering if this is as good as it gets. But Trelegy has shown me that there's still beauty and breath to be had. Because with 3 medicines in 1 inhaler, Trelegy keeps my airways open and prevents future flare-ups. And with 1 dose a day, Trelegy improves lung function, so I can breathe more freely all day and night.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about Watts Daily Trelegy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful.
Name a place you love being naked.
Does Steve sing her a song, get super shy, pull out flowers?
Can't you look at me?
No, ma'am. I don't want to make eye contact with you. Only reason I'm asking you this because it's on the card.
Steve, you would have asked me that in your younger days.
Family Feud, the only choice.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
Israel says it's shifting its focus to central and southern Gaza, bringing new tactics to the fight after 3 months of heavy civilian casualties. Fox's Alex Hogan has more from Tel Aviv.
After 3 months of intense fighting, Israel says its Gaza offensive is officially entering a new phase. An IDF spokesperson claims the Hamas threat is mostly eliminated in the north, and now the military will turn its attention to central and southern Gaza. But they say this phase is expected to be significantly less intense, meaning fewer ground troops, airstrikes, and more targeted attacks.
It might not be the end, but it could be the beginning of the end, because we're seeing the destruction of Hamas's military machine in the northern Gaza Strip.
It could also mean a greater focus on taking out the militant leadership. Last week, a top Hamas commander was killed in Beirut, and on Monday, another targeted assassination. Israel reportedly taking out Hezbollah commander Vissal al-Tawid, who reportedly led the group's most elite fighters. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hinting there could be more to come.
We gave him an example of what is happening to his friends in the south. This is what will happen here in the north. We will do everything to restore security.
But civilians in Gaza are skeptical about this new phase of the war. They say the situation is already so dire, simply ending the airstrikes won't help at this point, and more aid is needed to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe.
I don't know where to stay. I don't know where my children will sleep. Will they sleep on the sand? There is no safe place. There is no hygiene. There is no life.
And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in Israel on Monday, pushing for a new potential ceasefire and more aid for civilians. In Tel Aviv, Israel, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Meanwhile, an explosion at a historic Fort Worth hotel left 21 people injured. It happened Monday at the Sandman Signature Hotel, which was undergoing construction. The blast blew out windows and doors and scattered debris across the downtown streets. Officials believe it was caused by a gas leak and was not an intentional act.
We've got a lot of things that are going on social media right now that are getting a lot of people concerned. There is a smell of gas in the area, and there were windows and things that were blown outside of the structure. So right now, through our investigation, it looks like it is more of some type of gas leak.
6 rooms were occupied at the time of the blast. Rescuers plan to work through the night to make sure there was no one still trapped inside that building in Fort Worth, Texas. Authorities in Southern California say a woman survived 4 nights in the Angeles National Forest after her truck tumbled down a cliff. The woman was rescued after a hiker saw her car. Christy Fajardo has more on the story.
I don't think I'd last 5 days.
Everyone who sees the wreckage has the same reaction. They can't believe the driver who was inside this cabin survived. Not only the accident, but days with no help on frigid Mount Baldy. And adding to her incredible luck, a 30-year-old hiker finally spotted the wreck and reported it.
Real lucky, man. 5 days. Jeez. Yeah, she's lucky because the car's like down in the bush. You can't even see it.
Very fortunate, especially with the extreme conditions we've been having this last week, and that we're expecting to continue to have in the upcoming week or weeks. Very low overnight cold.
From the damage to the roof, it's clear the pickup rolled over as it tumbled down the cliff after going off Mount Baldy Road on Wednesday. Days went by until Sunday when that passing hiker saw the pickup. These photos from the San Dimas Mountain Rescue show what happened next. Firefighters say they had to rappel down to the woman who was trapped.
Patient was still awake and was able to talk.
She's now in the hospital. And a day later, crews had to use heavy machinery to pull the wreckage back up onto the road, where locals marvel at the tale of survival and caution others on the dangers of Mount Baldy.
You have to be careful. It snows up here. It's very icy up here.
If you're driving up there, please be mindful of the speed, be mindful of the road conditions.
Christy Fajardo, Fox 11 News.
Boy, incredible. Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, parents of very young children are urged to limit screen time to help prevent developmental delays. We'll have the story along with the day's sports news as Good Morning Maine continues.
Jerry's Used Cars has been a family-owned business for more than 30 years, currently in Corunna and Vesey. However, we have changed a little as we are no longer just a buy here, pay here dealership. We now have access to outside financing and also carry utility trailers. We would be happy to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. And don't forget, here at Jerry's Used Cars, we offer an extended warranty. So give us a call at either our Corunna or Vesey location.
Before the podcasts, before the documentaries, there was America's Most Wanted. The show that brought true crime to TV is back with a man who started it all.
I'm John Walsh, host of America's Most Wanted. We're more connected than ever, and you can help solve cases like never before. And this time, I'm bringing in my son Callahan to help.
America's Most Wanted premieres January 22nd on Fox.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. It's also National Law Enforcement Day, a day to show law enforcement officers how much we appreciate the sacrifices and risks they take for all of us. Our nation's first police department was created in New York City back in 1844, and they continue to be the first people we call whenever we need help. This holiday was created by several organizations back in 2015 as a way to show gratitude and to also show officers in a more positive light. So if you see a police officer today, you may thank them for their service. All right, time for a little history now. On this day back in 1839, the French Academy of Science announced the first ever photograph. The photo was taken by Louis-Jacques Mandet and showed a busy street in Paris, France. I know I did not pronounce his name correctly. In 1861, the first shots of the Civil War were fired. That's when a steamship called the Star of the West was fired on by Confederates as it attempted to enter Charleston Harbor. In 1931, Bobby Trout and Edna Mae Cooper broke an endurance record for female aviators when they returned to Los Angeles after flying continuously for 122 hours and 50 minutes. In 1951, the United Nations officially opened its headquarters in New York City. In 2006, shock jock Howard Stern moved his show to Sirius Satellite Radio under a 5-year, $500 million agreement. That was big news at the time. And finally, in 2007, Apple CEO Steve Jobs unveiled the very first iPhone. It would go on sale for between about $500 and $600. Today's birthdays include rocker Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, who turned 79 years old today, one of the best guitarists ever. Musician Dave Matthews turns 56, and actor J.K. Simmons turns 68 years old. You'll recognize him from lots of TV and movies, as well as from all those Farmers Insurance ads, which kind of make you chuckle when you see them. All right, happy birthday to all of them. All right, time for another check of that forecast. As we said, another serious storm is moving into the area tonight, bringing the potential for some flooding, some very icy conditions, and some widespread power outages as well. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Here's Devin with the details.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. As we get into things this morning, we have a lot of advisories to break down, and we have winter storm warnings posted till 8 a.m. Wednesday morning for the counties highlighted here in the pink. Winter storm watch is still in the blue here. Some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some wind alerts too. Wind advisories and high wind warnings are also posted through Wednesday afternoon because of some of those gusty winds that will be observed. We also have winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some hurricane force wind warnings and storm warnings along the coast. We have a lot going on here because of the active weather that will be expected to move in. For now, you wouldn't think so. The radar and satellites looking pretty quiet out there, at least in our backyard, but the clouds will be moving in throughout the daytime period today. As we do zoom things out and give you the bigger picture, look at all this right here. This is all tracking from the southwest and going to the north and east, and this will start to affect us coming up later on tonight and the parts of tomorrow. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be common today. Again, it's later on tonight, especially by around midnight or so, where the snow will move in, and strong gusty winds up to 50 to even 60 miles per hour possible late tonight and the parts of tomorrow as well. So for the rest of today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy or increasing clouds, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. As we move ahead towards tonight, though, middle 20s, so likely it will be windy as well. The higher totals will be farther off towards the north, and the southeast wind gusting up to around 45 miles per hour at times. As we head towards tomorrow, upper 40s, a wind shear mix will switch over to rain, very windy. Southeast wind gusting up to around 60 miles per hour at times, so power outages may be possible as a result of the wind. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures making into the upper 20s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig?
All right, thank you, Devin. Maybe a good day to buy some batteries and everything to replenish our flashlights after the last storm. All right, moving on now. Parents might want to avoid putting their young children in front of a screen until a certain age. A new study shows that children who use screens before 3 years old can experience developmental delays. Researchers at Drexel University looked at screen habit data from nearly 1,500 children under the age of 2. They found 1-year-olds who spend time in front of screens have a 105% higher chance of developing sensory processing issues by the time they're 33 months old. The study findings add to a list of concerns linked to screen time for toddlers, which include sleep problems, autism, and difficulties paying attention. According to the research posted in JAMA Pediatrics, each hour of daily screen time could increase the chance of sensory issues for babies until they're 2 years old. So maybe just skip the screen time for now. Back with all the day's sport.
Float to Fire Farms. Our products and staff are of the highest quality. Glassware, powerful puff, and CBD products. You'll be so happy your face will light up. 38 Storette Drive in Belfast.
Do you need to replace your old, worn-out windows? Then you need to call Renewal by Andersen today. We're the replacement window division of Andersen, which means you can get your project started right away by scheduling a free in-home consultation. Ask your consultant about pricing options, including our 1-year price lock guarantee quote. Call now to schedule your free design consultation. This fantastic money-saving deal with great financing ends soon. Installation is always included. Call now.
My father started a roofing company in the 1970s.
Back when asbestos was still commonly used in Maine.
When George was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew there wasn't a cure yet, but we knew he needed help.
We called Jeb Bornstein's office because this family means business.
Their team is handling everything, representing Mainers who were victims of asbestos exposure.
We highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Winter is flu season, and not only that, but COVID is still with us, as is RSV. Remember, it takes your body about 2 weeks after you get any vaccination to ramp up those antibodies. Now is the time for you and your family to get vaccinated against the flu, COVID, and RSV. Updated vaccines are now available for flu and COVID-19, and depending on your age, active steps you can take to prevent RSV. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist, or go to vaccines.gov. A message from the Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
Float to Fire Farms. Our products and staff are of the highest quality. Glassware, powerful puff, and CBD products. You'll be so happy your face will light up. 38 Storette Drive in Belfast.
Gordon hits the road to Spain in a brand new special.
That looks incredible. Bravo.
Gordon Ramsay's Road Trip Spanish Vacation. Thursday on Fox.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin on the basketball court. It was a great weekend for Maine basketball down in Portland. Cooper and Ace Flag making their return to the Pine Tree State with Montverde Academy for the main event, and it was everything it was hyped up to be.
Were you expecting something like this up in Maine?
Oh, for sure. It's cool. Come on. He's back home. Things sold out in less than 12 hours. I made the statement. No, I'm not afraid to say it out loud. He's the best white American basketball player since Larry Bird. And anybody thinks any different, they're crazy.
This weekend in Portland, Cooper and Ace Flag had their homecoming, and it was everything they expected.
Oh, great. Great environment, great atmosphere. We just come home and get a win.
You know, just being around Maine, you know, everyone's got full support of you. So when you're playing here, you know, no matter what happens, you know, everyone's going to be behind you the full way.
It was called the main event, put on by Made Hoops, where the Flags Montverde Academy Eagles played 2 games back home in front of 2 sellout crowds.
I think it exceeded all expectations. Like I said, just an incredible environment and just a lot of fun.
And it's definitely an honor to be able to represent this state. If I could pick anywhere to live, I would live here. You know, I've grown up here, lived here most of my life.
I'm just super happy for Ace and Cooper. This is probably the last time they'll get to play in Maine.
The Eagles put on a show, as they normally do, taking down Gonzaga College High on Friday night before dominating Cats Academy on Saturday. And the whole event really marks a full circle ending for the Flag Boys. Once young fans in the crowd, now the main attraction. Something they'll never forget. All right, certainly was a fun event in Portland, and I'd be remiss to mention the main event without talking about a few other Mainers making their return to the courts in Maine this weekend. Before the Montverde game on Saturday, St. Paul's School in New Hampshire suited up for a game with Bangor's Landon Clark and Oxford Hills' Tegan Pelletier suiting up for the Pelicans. Landon was a star for Bangor High 2 years before heading to St. Paul's. Tegan, the same with the Vikings. Both were also huge for Maine United this summer too, and here were their thoughts on this weekend's homecoming for them.
That was really cool. I want to thank the Maine community, just everybody in Maine showing up to the game. Maybe it was not for our game, but still it was really cool having a great crowd, a familiar place. It was just a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Even with, playing with Maine United, we didn't get to play in Maine a lot. So just to see a lot of familiar faces here and kind of play in front of them was pretty cool.
All right, a whole lot of fun down there. Let's move on to some football now. It was snowy, windy, and overall just not a good day in Foxborough on Sunday. The Patriots finishing a historically poor season with a 17-3 loss at home to the New York Jets, but the game was more than just the end to the season. It could have very well marked the last game in Bill Belichick's career with the Patriots. The legendary coach who led the team to 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Lombardi trophies, and 20 years of success could be on his way out. It's the Pats' second straight losing season. There are a lot of questions. Belichick supposedly meeting with Robert Kraft this week to discuss the future of the franchise and whether or not Bill will be a part of that future.
I'm under contract, do what I always do, which is, every day I come in, work as hard as I can to help the team in whatever way I can. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. Look, I'm for whatever, collectively we decide as an organization is the best thing to help our football team. And, I have multiple roles in that, and I rely on a lot of people to help me in those responsibilities.
Should be interesting to see what happens there. We'll have our eye on that. To the basketball court now. Celtics in action in Indiana, trying to make it 2 wins in a row against the Pacers. C's trying to stay hot. They are on the road this time in Indiana. Second quarter, Jaylen Brown is going to get it in the corner. Defense is all over him, but that does not matter. He's going to pull up and splash home the 3-ball. 25 points for him in the first half. Skipping ahead to the fourth quarter now, C's down 2. Buddy Hield gets it. Miscommunication on the screen, and he ends up with a wide open 3. Boston down 3 now. Drew Holiday has it. He gets it over to Al Horford, and he knocks down a triple of his own. We are all tied up. After a foul was reversed on Jaylen Brown, Pacers win it. Benedict Mathurin puts up a 3, and they get Porzingis on the shooting foul. He would make 2 of 3, so here come the Celtics. One last chance to send it to overtime. Cornette can't connect off the lob. Pacers win 133 to 131. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
If you think about it, hash browns are the French fries of breakfast.
Who says it's not French fries that are the hash browns of lunch and dinner?
That's also true.
Right now, you can get a savory, melty sausage burrito, crunchy hash browns, or these satisfying breakfast faves. Mix and match any two for just $3 at McDonald's.
There was no salt or sand.
And because of that, I slipped and fell.
When snow or ice isn't removed, you need a powerful law firm to go after every dollar you may deserve.
I needed to protect my rights.
Cases like this require resources and experience.
Over 25,000 victories for injured Mainers and more than $500 million collected for Maine families.
I never thought I'd get that much.
The law offices of Joe Bornstein. Maine lawyers working for Maine people.
Create the perfect spaces in your home for 2024 at the Furniture Gallery. Entertain in style this year with a new dining set. Have room for everyone on movie nights with a big sectional and extra seating. Feel more rested with a new mattress from Serta, Restonic, or Nectar. Celebrate the new year with unbeatable values during our New Year blowout sale. Save up to 60% on clearance items here at the Furniture Gallery. Support our Maine family-owned business and save money. Happy New Year from our family to yours. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
She's the apple of his eye.
Ta-da! What do you think?
You look beautiful. And you're grounded. She may be a tomboy.
I'm so lucky you get to be in junior G.I. Joes. And you're lucky I don't want to get blood on my uniform.
But she's still daddy's little girl. Sit down, I want to talk to you for a minute.
This isn't a sex talk, is it? Because I already know more than I'd like to.
Learn all about Eve.
Am I supposed to understand what you mean by that?
On Last Man Standing. This afternoon, starting at 4 on Fox 22.
If you like getting your taxes filed and out of the way early, pay attention. The Internal Revenue Service announcing it will start accepting 2023 tax returns on January 29th. The earlier you file means the earlier you may be able to get your tax refund back. The agency says processing for refunds usually takes up to 21 days. It may take longer if you claim the Earned Income Tax Credit. The tax agency says it issued nearly $105 million in refunds last year, or 5 million refunds, not dollars. The usual April 15th deadline is still in place unless you live in federally declared disaster areas. All right, time for one final check of the forecast. Here's Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. Already, we have a lot going on here. So we have winter storm warnings up until 8 a.m. Wednesday. Winter storm watch itself for the northwestern parts of the state until 10 a.m. Wednesday as well. At some point, that will be changed to warnings for some other advisory. We also have some wind alerts that are posted as well, high wind warnings and wind advisories as well. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour possible. That will cause some issues with the trees and power lines as well. On top of that, though, some more winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted, hurricane force wind warnings also posted along the coast, as well as storm warnings. So we have a lot to watch out for with the system that will be on the way. Wave heights aren't too bad just yet at around 4 to 5 feet, but this map's really going to get active coming up soon with the system that will be moving in pretty quickly. But otherwise, though, the radar and satellite, you wouldn't think there's anything going on right now, right? Because everything's looking pretty quiet in our backyard. But as we zoom things out, here's this fanfare right here, though, the system that's really getting its act together with snow across parts of the Midwest, some showers and thunderstorms further down to the south. We'll have our turn for a wintry mist that will be moving in pretty quickly as high pressure tracks off towards the north and east. So futurecast moving forward, everything gets going later on tonight, especially by around midnight, some snow likely. And of course, the stacked isobars here indicating some strong gusty winds up to 45 to even 60 miles per hour at times. We'll transition to rain throughout the morning period on Wednesday, continuing in parts of the afternoon with warmer temperatures on the way. But the system clears out of here pretty quickly. As we head towards later on, we'll start to see this getting out of here pretty fast. So fortunately, this is not a long-lasting system, though, as they'll be out of here pretty quickly by Thursday, but still some fanfare to watch out for. Here's the snow accumulations, though. Again, here we go. So we're going to be watching for around 8 to 12 inches of snow farther off towards the north, maybe a few locally higher amounts, and maybe 2 to 5 inches of snow farther down to the south. So this time, the higher totals will be farther off towards the north. As for the water, though, this counts in the snow as well. 1 to 2 inches of water possible before we're all finished up. This is rain and melted down snow, so a lot of water on the way here across the region. And gusty winds, not so much of an issue today, though the winds will be rather quiet. But look what's happening tomorrow. Gusty winds increasing over time, getting close to around 60 miles per hour at times in some cases. Again, power outages and some down trees will be possible as a result of this. As our average temperature is 28 degrees, we'll do upper 20s today. The upper 40s Wednesday, back in the low 40s Thursday. We're back in the lower 30s Friday. Upper 40s again Saturday with another storm system moving in. The upper 20s again Sunday and also into Monday. So for today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Later on tonight, middle 20s, snow likely, higher totals further off towards the north. Southeast wind at about 45 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, wintry mix to rain, strong winds as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 60 miles per hour. All right, here's a look at extended forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers. A partly cloudy sky Thursday, highs in the lower 40s, lower 30s Friday with a lot of sunshine. Another wintry mess moving in on Saturday with highs in the upper 40s.
PDQ Door presents CHI Doors. CHI Doors are tough, dependable, engineered for fit and function. CHI Doors from PDQ Door, Hamden, Rockport, Bath, Waterville, Holton, Presque Isle, and PDQDoor.com.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
You know what today is? It's Tuesday. But no matter what day of the week, Lowry & Associates is your go-to law firm. If you've been hurt, call us right now.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do? Call 222-2222.
At Warren Financial, your financial goals are our priority. Your financial plan may appear to be all about savings and investing, but in reality, it's about much more. Your life, your family, and your legacy. That's why the financial planner you choose is so important.
Plan your future with Warren Financial. Visit warrenfinancialplan.com or call 573-1825.
Your trusted partner in wealth management.
I'll go naked. I bet you will.
25 words or less.
Flip-flop. Cougar. Little Caesars.
Sounds like a Tuesday for me.
Every weekday
at 9 on Fox 22.
Always standing ready to answer the call to service. Service your garage door. PDQ Door. PDQDoor.com.
Friends fans everywhere have the opportunity to be part of the story, the one where the original Friends TV scripts are put up for auction. A man living in England who previously worked for Fountain Studios was cleaning out his home when he found some of the original Friends scripts inside his bedside table. The two episodes titled The One with Ross's Wedding, Part 1 and Part 2 were filmed at Fountain Studios. The man who found them wants to stay anonymous. He says that he found them in a trash bin a few weeks after filming. Years later, he donated the scripts to the Hanson Ross auction house because he says they should go to a real Friends fan. The original scripts go up for auction on January 12th. They're expected to sell for at least $650. That's it for now, folks. We thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day.